Good evening, and welcome to the 2021 Volunteers of America Oregon DePreist Award for Excellence, presented by the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation. And now, please welcome your hosts for this evening, Brenda Braxton and Julianne Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brenda Braxton with KGW-TV. I'm here in our news studio in Southwest Portland. And joining me is award-winning recording artist and Broadway performer, Julianne Johnson.
Thanks, Brenda. I'm here in Northeast Portland at the Volunteers of America Oregon Men's Residential Treatment Center. Thank you for joining us this evening. For the next 30 minutes, you're going to hear some incredible stories about the great work of Volunteers of America Oregon, as well as help us celebrate 125 years of service.
Volunteers of America Oregon has a really long history of providing services to those most in need in our community, and it has some of the most effective outcomes. This year, we're celebrating 125 years of empowering individuals, families, and communities in Oregon. We're also celebrating more than 2 decades of presenting the DePreist Award for Excellence to outstanding local philanthropists and change makers.
Tonight, you're going to learn about the life-changing work of Volunteers of America Oregon and how we are working to make Portland, our home, a more just, safe, and equitable place for everyone to live and thrive. Because we are all VOA Oregon. Throughout the show, you'll discover how you can have a direct impact on improving the lives of children, adults, and families, and how to help meet some of the greatest needs in our community.
That's right. Tonight is an opportunity for you to join VOA Oregon as an advocate for change. We're raising critical dollars supporting our mission of enhancing lives by promoting self-determination, building strong communities, and standing for social justice. Anytime during this program, you can text the phrase "Give VOA" to 91999 to help support this life-changing work. Every gift, no matter the amount, is very important to our mission. So please pick up your phones right now and give generously. Text "Give VOA" to 91999. That's GIVE VOA. The phrase "Give VOA" is one word, and it's not case sensitive, so it doesn't matter if you use all caps or lowercase letters, but be sure to type "Give VOA" with no spaces. You can also call us at 503-235-8655. A member of our Team VOA will be happy to take your donation over the phone.
The time to create change is now. Volunteers of America Oregon stands for racial justice and equity and has a long history of reaching out to populations that have been marginalized and/or have been affected by bias and discrimination. I've been involved with VOA Oregon for many years because of their selfless service to the community. It's always comforting to know that there is such an innovative organization on the ground providing high-quality services to 13,000 folks in our community each year, including some of the most vulnerable: children, families, and adults.
We want to thank you so much for joining us and taking time to learn about the incredible work of VOA Oregon. It's an organization committed to learning from the past to create a more inclusive, compassionate, and healthy future for everyone.
In 1896, Maud and Ballington Booth formed a new organization dedicated to serving the nation's most vulnerable. They called it the Volunteers of America, with the goal of establishing a national social reform movement. Just months later, the first VOA outpost was established in Oregon, making it one of the longest-serving social service agencies in the state. In the 125 years since, Volunteers of America Oregon has been steadfast in its commitment to serve those most in need. We've supported working parents and their children because when families remain strong, the entire community benefits. We've supported those who are impacted by the criminal justice system because the road back to society can be a rough and winding one. And we've supported those struggling with addiction because we know that recovery is the first step in rebuilding a life. As VOA Oregon enters its 125th year and a new generation of reformers take on the fight for social justice, our mission remains as important as ever. We understand the role that substance abuse, family violence, and intergenerational trauma play in the propagation of inequality. And we are on the front lines of the fight to stop these destructive cycles and create a better future for all. From that humble beginning as the first VOA outpost in the West, Volunteers of America Oregon has grown into a broad network of services benefiting every walk of life. In the past year alone, 13,000 participants received services, including 3,422 children cared for at drop-in childcare and 6,087 domestic violence survivors receiving assistance and protective orders. And VOA Oregon programs have saved the state of Oregon $4.5 million in corrections costs over the last 4 years. For the past 125 years, the mission of Volunteers of America Oregon has remained the same: to enhance lives by promoting self-determination, building strong communities, and standing for social justice. In the next 125 years, VOA Oregon will continue to remove barriers, grow services, and connect to the community with a variety of holistic, trauma-informed services. This is our promise to you, the community we serve.
As you just saw, Volunteers of America Oregon spans generations to provide life-changing and life-saving opportunities for children, older adults, and everyone in between. For more than 20 years now, the organization has been led by a woman whose public service career has spanned several decades and has made a positive impact on thousands of lives in Portland, Multnomah County, and the state of Oregon. Her leadership has inspired action, innovation, and care. And it's my honor now to introduce you to the President and CEO of Volunteers of America, Kay Turan.
Thank you, Brenda, and good evening. I am Kay Turan, President and CEO of Volunteers of America Oregon, and I'm here at the University of Portland, where I and our MCs, Brenda Braxton and Julianne Johnson, all graduated, and where I serve on the Board of Regents. UP has also been a wonderful community partner of ours over the years, and Father William Beauchamp, the university's former president, is a past recipient of the DePreist Award for Excellence. And I would like to thank the University of Portland for their continued support and commitment to our work. Over the last 125 years, both here in Portland and nationally, Volunteers of America has been providing services to children, youth, adults, and families in need of critical and essential supportive social services. More than a century ago, we began offering programs to women and children in need of safe housing, food, and clothing. And over the last century, we have learned that it is imperative that our service delivery system supports the entire family. Today, Volunteers of America Oregon provides high-quality social and developmental programs for those impacted by substance abuse, houselessness, high unemployment, and significant health issues. We also provide supportive services to our aging population and their families as we identify and support this rapidly growing need in our community. To accomplish our goals, we rely on our staff, Team VOA, our highly qualified and ethical workforce who joyfully and capably meet the needs of our clients, provide compassionate care, and the follow-up support that ensures success. We also know that we must be prepared for the crises that we don't know are coming. So we are committed to investing in innovation, data tracking, and future planning so that we can best anticipate and prepare for ongoing needs and public health challenges that affect our world. Over the more than 2 decades that I have served as president and CEO, I have witnessed so many individuals who have dramatically changed course, who have truly and fully gotten their lives back on track. In my mind today is a young man whose life had fallen off track. He had committed a crime, served time in prison, and once released, had given up hope. This young man was taken to a VOA residential treatment center and through our highly regarded evidence-based treatment program, and with much compassion and care, he successfully graduated. His life is transformed. And his story is not uncommon here at VOA. Our clients will be in recovery for life. But what they know is that VOA will always be there for them during any challenging times, that they have the tools and wisdom gained during treatment to guide their future, and that many have family support avenues that we have helped identify and nurture. Volunteers of America is one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the state of Oregon, and one of the few that are responding competently and effectively to the high-need, high-risk populations in our communities. It is because of viewers like you that we're able to maintain this quality of care and provide a high commitment to public safety and an investment in future generations. As Volunteers of America Oregon moves into our next chapter, we are committed to the next 125 years and to providing a continuum of caring services that are inclusive, collaborative, and represent the diversity of our community. To this end, we will soon open a community-influenced health and human services center in Northeast Portland that will offer care to those in greatest need and serve as a resource for the neighborhood at large. Our focus is, and has always been, serving the needs of our community. We've been around and we will be around as your caring human service agency. It is our pleasure to serve you, and I invite you to join us in making a measurable change for those who need it in our community. On behalf of Team VOA, we thank you for your support. Thank you.
As you just heard, Team VOA is making profound and lasting change in the lives of thousands in our community through programs and services designed to help individuals rebuild their lives and reach their full potential. By making a donation now, you too can be a part of Team VOA, becoming a critical part of the work we're doing for thousands in our community.
Any contribution you make will directly benefit our work to go wherever we are needed and do whatever comes to hand. That was actually the original service pledge of Volunteers of America. Our founder, Maud Booth, came up with that motto, and it's every bit as relevant today as it was 125 years ago. Now's your chance to be part of this mission by giving generously to the work of VOA Oregon. Please text the phrase "Give VOA" to 91999 or make a donation when you visit our website, voaor.org. Again, that's voaor.org, or text "Give VOA" to 91999. Before you meet two people whose lives have been changed by VOA, we'd like to thank several donors and sponsors who made this night possible. Their support has made a lasting difference. Our presenting sponsor, Jordan Schnitzer and the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation. Thank you for your partnership and invaluable support and contributions throughout the years. Our cornerstone sponsor, the Maybelle Clark McDonald Fund, and our leadership sponsor, Ms. Carolyn Alexander. We'd like to let our viewers know as well that the Maybelle Clark McDonald Fund has agreed to match all donations at the $100, $250, $500, $1,000, and $2,500 levels up to $30,000. Please consider giving at one of these levels in order to get that 100% matching gift. Also, a very special thank you to the University of Portland, KGW Channel 8, and these other supporters who've helped make tonight possible. It's because of you directly benefiting our work to help the most vulnerable, the abused, and those in need of a second chance that we are able to make a lasting difference in Portland and beyond.
Hello there, I'm Governor Kate Brown. With a mission of enhancing lives by promoting self-determination, building strong communities, and standing for social justice, Volunteers of America does a whole lot of good in Oregon. For example, Volunteers of America Oregon provides high-quality services to 13,000 folks in our communities each year, serving vulnerable children, families, and adults. As one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the state, Volunteers of America Oregon has competently and efficiently served high-risk, high-need populations in our communities. I'm so excited to celebrate Volunteers of America's 125 years of empowering individuals, families, and communities, and the more than 2 decades of presenting the prestigious DePreist Award for Excellence to outstanding local philanthropists and changemakers. Thank you for all the great work, and cheers to another 125 years of transforming lives through service at Volunteers of America, Oregon. Thank you.
VOA Oregon is about serving people, one life at a time. It's here that we have the privilege of making a truly profound healing impact on a human life. As we've seen in recent years, drug and alcohol addiction has been a significant concern, ruining individual lives and communities, both here in Portland and around the country. Volunteers of America Oregon is a leader in evidence-based treatment programs, offering individuals and families the gold standard in residential treatment services. In an industry where most program completion rates and the prospect of maintaining sobriety are absolutely dismal, VOA's residential treatment program has a 72% successful completion rate, which is outstanding and quite rare.
You know, I started using alcohol around 10 years old, came from a dysfunctional family. So I ended up being an intravenous meth user for 21 years of my life.
I was selling dope, I was doing dope, I was beating people up, and I was in and out of jail, in and out of jail.
And just in a nutshell, that's really what my life has been.
Typically, our clients come from family systems where they've had significant violence, trauma as kids.
And by the time they reach our doors, it's not just about trying to recover from substance use, but it's really recovery from trauma.
Sadly, as adults, teenagers, they kind of perpetuate that same system that happened unto them, perpetuate a lot of violence and trauma and others.
I was rude, really mean to people.
What I am is a very, very selfish person who has no regard for anybody's life when it comes to my addiction. It didn't matter if I hurt you or not. November 3rd, 2003, I was driving down the road. I make a left-hand turn and have a head-on collision with a woman with 3 kids in her car. And the last thing I seen was those kids come up front. I said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I decided at that moment I'm either going back to prison or I'm coming to treatment. The next day, November 4th, 2003, I walked back into the men's residential center. This program was different than any program I had ever been in.
Other treatment centers have more structure and feel that like it's not safe to let people go out into the community. We have the opposite philosophy. We feel that we're teaching you these skills and you need to learn how to practice them.
As a recovery center in a place that believes in change, we're going to hold you accountable with respect and dignity, not with shame and anger and rage.
It was different for me, and I felt like I had a purpose at that time.
It was hard at first, like that came in really high, just like broken. But a lot of their programs that they, like the meetings, groups, all that, like it helps me a lot. And I learned more about like why I was using drugs.
And what it is really about creating that sense of relationship, hope, hospitality, belief in people, and to help people unpack that hurt, that trauma. They become who they can be.
I have 20 months, almost 20 months clean on the 28th. And I had my own place for the very first time in forever.
And I have been clean now for, this November will be, I think, 18 years.
One thing we offer for all of our alumni is we'll pay their full tuition costs in the Portland Community College Alcohol and Drug Counselor Program. And Jerome was actually our very first client who took advantage of that back in 2005.
Graduated, got my CADC for counseling.
Got hired to work at the front desk as a residential counselor. And then about a year and a half later, got promoted into a counselor position. And then he just this past June, he completed his master's in social work.
Now as a management, I pretty much run the goings-on around the program. And for the MRC and Volunteers of America to welcome me back was a great honor for me.
The research is very clear that for each dollar you spend in treatment, it's about a $7 saving for society. You think about the expense that it costs for somebody who's hardcore in their addiction. There's obviously the physical cost of committing crimes.
The cost to society of incarcerating someone, putting them through the court system, through the child welfare system, having their kids in the foster care system is incalculable.
And obviously, for folks who struggle with hardcore addiction, there's a huge healthcare expense there. You put people into, all kinds of layers of the hospital system, the mental health system. So we have huge costs to our society. We spent about $1 trillion on the war on drugs since it was kind of originated. And if we took that money from the war on drugs and said, hey, let's make it a war on trauma, on poverty, I think we can have a pretty significant, change in our society.
It makes our community safer, and it helps interrupt that cycle of addiction and abuse.
I'm grateful for the opportunity because now I have almost 20 months clean sober in my own place, and I'm doing phenomenal.
I know for me that the MRC, the Men's Residential Center, I truly believe it made me a better human being.
And now, it's our pleasure to welcome back our President and CEO, Kay Turan, who is joined by philanthropist and businessman, and our presenting sponsor, Jordan Schnitzer of the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation.
Hi, I'm Jordan Schnitzer. It was over 20 years ago that I got a call from Kay Turan, who I'd met previously when she had a political job and did so much for the state of Oregon. Now, when she called and talked about Volunteers of America, to be honest with you, I didn't know much about the organization. And I learned about the amazing job it does with those in need in our community.
This year, in honor of our 125 years of service, we are reflecting, celebrating the past accomplishments of VOA Oregon, as well as those who share a commitment to making Portland and Oregon a better place to live, work, and grow.
And as president of the Arlene and Harold Schnitzer Care Foundation, and through the funding we do through our company, Harsh Investment Properties, Volunteers of America is one of our principal philanthropies in the metropolitan area. Why? Because every dollar that we contribute, and those of you out there that join with us, is efficiently spent, not just helping lives, but transforming lives.
Jordan, it is through the support of individuals like you that we are able to provide critical services to thousands of men, women, and children in our community. And so we invite you to be a part of Team VOA by texting to GIVE-VOA, give VOA, to 91999 and help create a real future for too many in our community who have lost all hope. The impact of your support can make a real and lasting difference.
There were times in my family's history when there weren't the dollars to give away. As the business began to build up and we were fortunate to be able to have a little more resources than we needed, we started writing some checks. But the point is, whether it's $1 or one with several zeros after it, every dollar counts. And it's not how much you give, because everybody's circumstance is different. The idea is everybody reaching in and doing something.
We know that not everyone feels comfortable texting to give, so here are other ways you can support our critical work. You can visit our website at voaor.org and click the donate button, or you can call us at 503-235-8655. You can even send in a donation to our address, 3910 Southeast Stark, Portland, Oregon, 97214. Each dollar you give will be returned to our state and community in so many ways, including enhanced public safety. In fact, for one of our drug treatment programs, for every 17 individuals we treat and graduate, we save the state of Oregon over $1 million in averted prison costs. That's a remarkable accomplishment. And one of the organizations in our community that will match a gift of $100 or more is the Maybelle Clark McDonald Fund. Anyone giving $100, $250, $500, $1,000, or $2,500 will have their gift matched dollar for dollar by that fund.
And on top of that, Kay doesn't know this, but we'll match every gift up to $50. So $5, $10, $50, we'll match that too.
Jordan, that is so generous of you and of Harsh Investment. We truly appreciate what you do. And this is an opportunity for everyone to participate in giving this evening.
So thank you for joining with us, and let's all get together and support Volunteers of America.
Thank you so much, Jordan. You're a gift to our community, and you're a gift to Volunteers of America, Oregon. We truly appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay. If you're like us, this evening has opened your eyes to the beautiful power of giving. One life, one family, one community, all touched by our gifts coming together. And we have never needed that more than now.
To make a donation in the final moments of our show tonight, please text GIVE VOA to 91999 or visit voaor.org to give a donation in any amount. This is also your last opportunity to have your gift matched 100% by the Maybelle Clark McDonald Fund. You can join us in this commitment and be part of Team VOA, making a lasting difference in our community by bringing hope and healing to those in need. It's in our caring, our giving, and our coming together that we are VOA.
We are indeed. On behalf of Volunteers of America, Oregon, and the thousands of lives that you are impacting in this community, we would like to say thank you to each of you. It's been our honor to host this event and share more about the work of VOA Oregon. Good night from the Men's Residential Treatment Services Building.
And good night from the KGW studios. Thanks again to everyone who made this event possible, and to each of you for tuning in and for your support of Volunteers of America, Oregon. We'll see you next year.
What do I love about Volunteers of America? To hear people laugh again, to smile again, and to find friends in a community is pretty profound.
Making positive life changes.
The dedication and passion of the team.
A new opportunity or a new partnership for us to be a part of.
I'm a big believer in service to others that might need a helping hand.
It's something kind of special for me just to be there.
I am VOA.
I am VOA.
I am VOA.
I am VOA.
I am VOA.